evening and welcome. This November 12th, 2025 meeting of the Local Planning Agency of the City of Dunedin will now come to order. The Local Planning Agency is an advisory board of the citizens appointed by the City Commission. This board is comprised of volunteers who represent the thoughts and concerns of the community. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to make recommendations to the City Commission regarding each item on the agenda. Except for item 1B, tonight's format will be as follows. I will introduce the item on the agenda, after which the city representative will present information about it. Thereafter, the members of the Local Planning Agency will have an opportunity to ask questions of the city representative. Finally, anyone from the public may come forward. Those from the public wishing to provide comment will need to please approach the lectern, state your name and address, and then utilize the speaker's lectern in order for their comments to be recorded. Individual public speakers will be limited to 3 minutes of time, and we kindly request that speakers are respectful of the clock countdown. Citizens speaking on an agenda item or during citizen comment will not engage in loud, boisterous, or disruptive speech or comment. Never happens here. Any speaker that has continued inappropriate or irrelevant comments will be requested to relinquish the podium by me, the chair. Item 1A, which is the first item on the agenda, is to approve the September 10, 2025 LPA minutes. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to make?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And we are open for public comment about our minutes. We've never had anyone comment on those, but we have to ask. Okay, so we're done with the public comment. All right, so we will move on. While the Local Planning Agency is not a quasi-judicial board and therefore has no final decision-making power, our procedures for quasi-judicial items, somebody needs to get rid of those words, are structured in a quasi-judicial manner for the benefit of those who come before it. The Commission will be the ultimate quasi-judicial decision-making authority. The next item on our agenda tonight, which is quasi-judicial in nature, we've got to do better writing this stuff, is item 1B, and the format will be as follows. I will introduce the item, after which the city representative will present information about it. Thereafter, the members of the LPA will have an opportunity to ask questions of the city representative. The applicant will present information about the item. Thereafter, the members of the LPA will have an opportunity to ask the applicant questions. Finally, anyone from the public may come forward. Those from the public wishing to provide testimony will need to approach the lectern, state their name and address, and then utilize the microphone at the speaker's lectern in order for their comments to be recorded. Individual speakers will be limited to 3 minutes of speaking time, and we request that speakers be respectful of the clock countdown. Upon the conclusion of each public hearing, the LPA will consider the evidence before it and will vote on the agenda item. The voice vote is the rendition of the order of the board, and there will be no written decision issued by the board. Anyone in the audience wishing to give testimony to any items on the agenda will need to be sworn in by the Deputy City Clerk. The Deputy Clerk will now swear in all persons wishing to speak or give testimony to tonight's quasi-judicial agenda item.
Do you swear the testimony you are about to give in this proceeding is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, too. Has anyone on the LPA had any ex parte communications regarding this item?
No.
Thank you. We are now into application DR 2025-0004, request for design review approval for the development of a two-story, 21-unit residential vacation home project called Azure Avenue Vacation Homes, located at 1380 Pinehurst Road.
Thank you, Chair Broom, members of the board, members of the local planning agency, excuse me. George Kinney on behalf of the Community Development Department. So we were actually meant to have a couple of items on tonight, and Frances, our planner too, probably most of you know her, stepped up and offered to assist on one of the items, and this is the one. So you're going to get Frances tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce her. She's going to give you the presentation. We'll both be here for questions at the end.
Okay. Good evening, LPA board members. Frances Leong, Sharp Planner 2 for the City of Dunedin, here to present application DR 2025-0004, also known as Azul Avenue. As you can tell, after this evening's hearing, this application is scheduled to be heard in front of the City Commission on December 18th. Just a quick overview about the property in itself. It is roughly located near the southwest corner of San Christopher Drive and Pinehurst Road, as you can see on the aerial. The subject property is approximately just over an acre in size, and it's currently sitting vacant, and it's formerly used as a charter school. And as the description of the title of the case, the applicant is proposing a two-story, 21-unit short-term rental on the property. And the land use in itself is the land use of retail and services with a zoning designation of FXM, both of which would permit short-term rental use. And based on this slide, we're demonstrating the maximum density that a property is allowed to have. So as you can see that they are permitted up to 24 units, but they are proposing for 21 units. And then within the zoning district, based on staff analysis, based on the proposed site plan that they have presented to us, it does conform to all of the minimum dimensional requirements of the code. And then with the compatibility evaluation, there is a backup packet that shows an aerial view with the description of each of the parcels based on the heights and the density. Based on that analysis, staff concludes that the proposed project is compatible with the surrounding area based on the objective 2.9 of the comprehensive plan evaluation criteria. And then as we go through the design standards evaluation, based on this table, as you can see in summary, they have met all the minimum requirements based on common open spaces, circulation, mobility, parking, and so forth. All of it is detailed within the staff report. So this application has been brought forward to the DRC on December 19th, 2024. The committee had provided comments in regards to prior to submittal of the application, and based upon the submittal, they have met the minimum criteria based on that, and they have gone in front of the Architectural Review Committee not only once but twice, or actually 3 times, based on within the staffing. Just in general, one of the items that was addressed is regarding a grand tree that exists on a site. And as you can see in the backup of the proposed site plan and layout, they have satisfied the requirements in saving the grand tree and redesigning the whole overall site to meet that requirement. And the Architecture Review Committee recommended approval based upon that finding. And once again, based on the thorough analysis that you find in the staff report and in summation of the summary presentation here, staff does find that the application is consistent with all the applicable review criteria, subject approval to the following conditions that you see on the screen here. And staff is available for any questions that you may have.
Mr. Chairman, quickly, just a couple of more things. Very quickly, this is FXM, as noted in the staffing. So this is a redevelopment of the site out there, and if you notice from the zoning map, there was a number of FXM parcels in and around this particular area. So this is really a catalyst project, if you will, because most of the development that's out there now has kind of been out there for a long time. So this is kind of giving you a real flavor of how that area is intended to transform from an architectural and design standpoint. So just wanted to make that point. Also wanted to thank the developer. As you can see, this project's been going on for more than a year now, and they've been very accommodating in accepting some of the comments from both the DRC and the Architectural Review Committee. So I just wanted to mention that as well. And with that, as Francis mentioned, any questions, we're happy to answer.
Questions?
Is the applicant going to give a presentation at all?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, this is just questions of the staff right
Yeah,
now.
no, so I'm going to wait
Yeah,
my
it's okay.
questions until after that presentation.
Fine. Go ahead.
I saw 2 ARCs, but I didn't see it. He's in charge.
Yes.
I saw 2 ARCs on the tree, but I didn't see the 3rd ARC. So you said it went 3 times? There were 2, and then the second one, you chose not to vote on it, and you were going to come back with some things.
Correct.
And then I went
So-
to September, and I didn't see.
Yes, so the September meeting was the official vote and recommendation from
Okay,
the ARC.
I'm sorry, it was August, September,
Correct.
and then there was
One on July,
okay.
July 1st.
So, okay, well, I don't know. You say there's 3, I say there's 2, whatever. Maybe I can't count, I don't know. But whatever. So I'll reserve my comments too for
Okay.
that.
Any other questions for the staff?
George, I just have a question. You had mentioned it's a catalyst project to help develop that area. If this project were not to go forward, any sense of what that property might develop into? Any sense at all?
It's hard to say. FXM is a category that offers an awful lot of alternative land uses. This is certainly one of the permitted land uses. It's a mixed-use category, so there are some other opportunities under the current zoning. The land use itself is retail and services, so it's basically suggesting that it be a commercial type of application. And I would offer that short-term rentals is kind of a low-impact commercial operation.
Right.
We don't consider it residential because it's a transient use, but, there's a whole number of ways the applicant could have went with this property based on the zoning and land use.
Okay, thank you.
George. So what is the definition of short-term rentals?
It's transient use for less than 90 days, right, Francis? Thank you. It's a use of the property for less than 90 days.
Thank you.
I've got one. Is there a minimum to that? Is it one night to 90
It could be
days?
as little as one night, yes.
Yes.
That it?
I have a question. In the review, I believe it was in the DRC, it says that Walter met with the owner of the Blue Jays and that they needed 33 rooms, and this parcel is close to the training center and everything. So is this going to be used heavily for the Blue Jays in this? It's in the documentation in there,
That
under
might
development
be,
review projects.
that might be a mistake. I don't think the Blue Jays were ever intended to use this property. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that if that's in your. in your staffing.
Microphone?
I just want to verify that when they did come back, they did agree that they can save the grand tree. That was the
Correct.
bottom line.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
That it? Super. The representative, please.
Thank you, everybody. I'd like to thank staff for their professionalism, and thank you all for being here tonight. I'd also like to thank everyone in the neighborhood who came ahead and told us what they wanted there and how they felt about it and what concerns they had. I will say that the
What's
project...
your name, please?
My name is Walter Panaccio, I'm sorry. I'm with the managing member of Azul LLC. This project has gone through a lot through the year of development, and things were brought up from the density to tree preservation to drainage to parking, all of which are different engineers and different departments that we've had look at everything from an engineering standpoint, legal standpoint. So we've brought them with us tonight so they can answer questions better than I can. So when you do ask the questions, I'd like the opportunity to bring forward the professionals who can give direct answers to that. We had a neighbor who I believe is here tonight, who we met with in person to make sure we met his concerns, and I believe we have. And we are torn between an FXM zoning, and we've more than met all the requirements of the FXM zoning, and we're trying to also at the same time meet those requirements that are here from the city, and the staff made us sure, make sure we met them, as well as meet the concerns of the neighboring, the neighborhood in general, I should say. So with that, I guess I'll let you guys ask the questions, and then I'll defer to my professionals to give you the answers to those questions.
I'll get us started. That you've talked about that you've done a lot of communication with the community, but yet there's a citizen participation plan report that hasn't been done yet. So I'm curious as to what that is and how it's different from what you've already done.
So we've not only done we had a open house for the project at the Dunedin Library. Staff is aware of it, and we had, I don't know, probably 35 people come to that, including Mr. Michaels, who I believe is present, and we handed off everything to city.
Mr. Chairman, I might be able to help with that. So the code does not require a citizen participation plan in this instance, but they did that of their own accord at staff's urging. So they have not only done a citizen's participation plan, but they, as the applicant mentioned, they also met with the neighboring property individually.
So you're going to do another report then?
If, I'm not sure one is required, I mean, if one is necessary, we've already had a citizen's participation, mailed everybody, told everybody about it, they came. We have photographs and video of that whole happening. We handed that in the attendance to the city, which wasn't necessary, but they said it would be nice if you do that, so of course we did it. I also have Azul Ave, which needs some updates because we've done a lot of reduction to our website, but Azul Ave, I can get you the website here, and the citizens can go there and make comments and they'll be directed to us. But I haven't gotten any comments on that, but that was on our flyer as well. And we also met, when we did get a concern, any concern that was forwarded to the city, we met with those people in person. We've only had one so far, and it was Mr. Michaels.
Yeah, I was just curious that it looks like, just given the information we were given, that there's going to be a report done, but it sounds like you've already done it.
Correct.
But the report has not been completed, so.
The citizen participation plan report is included in the backup under Exhibit H on your staff report.
Right, I looked at it, but it didn't look like it had been completed. It looked like an empty form.
He's talking about participation, how they showed up, it looks like they're saying, I hear what you're saying. He's just saying that you gave the plan,
There was,
Which
you know, it
would,
was,
which would be that you actually had an open house at the Dunedin Library and 35 attended, and that
Right, and that was never in
it
there.
did not seem to be in there.
Okay. Okay.
so we did perform one, and if the report is not sufficient, I'm happy to provide whatever you need for.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Walter, can you just maybe go through that meeting? Were there any concerns expressed by the surrounding community, and what steps did you take in this design to address those?
Yeah, so, I mean, the only person who had concern is our neighbor to the south, Mr. Michaels. He's the only person, everybody else seemed to love the project, the look of it, and the addition to Dunedin of the project. I think it came out spectacular, and with the input of everybody, including Mr. Michaels, it's gotten better. The things that were brought forward from the one concern was the density of the project. We're down, we can do 24, we've only done 21, so that was one. The tree preservation it was a tear a bit because the Architectural Review Committee wanted us to do preservation of a tree that was healthy enough to be preserved, so we went back and made those changes. Mr. Michaels had a concern about visibility, but we can't take the tree out, so, you know, and the tree was there a lot longer before we got the parcel in our possession. It's been growing a long time. So, and then there's another tree, which is on our property, which overhangs Mr. Michaels' property, which we had a conversation with him about that, you know, we can talk to you about taking out that tree, but he's been in, like, objection of the project in general, so he was upfront about that. He brought up drainage. Currently, that school, the pervious coverage was gigantic, and it had no stormwater. It had a broken stormwater system, and nothing operational. We're doing a spectacular system that's going to be underground and hold all the water. Traffic, I think anybody who knows the charter school that was there knows what the traffic was like, and we've had traffic studies by engineers who also addressed the visibility issue, both on our property and Mr. Michaels, and we 100% meet FDOT visibility. Furthermore, he had concerns about solid waste. Well, the waste department of the city of Dunedin told us they didn't want to do pickup at each house. Well, we're happy to accommodate the tree over Mr. Michaels. We're happy to move from a dumpster out front, which is what Waste Management wanted from us, that he's complaining is too close to his property. Well, we moved it away from his property. I guess it's not far enough away. But the city wants the dumpster there, so we would be happy to go to trash cans if that's what the city would agree to. That's fine. And so we've been accommodating on height. He had it's too grand. Well, it's 2 stories. It's not a gigantic project, and we meet the height minimum requirements. He talked about noise and et cetera. You know, in my opinion, with the HOA, we have recorded deed restrictions, we have rules and regulations, we have quiet time, we have an overlay on top of what our neighbors have. Actually, our neighbors don't have any overlay of restrictions on top of what their behavior might be, whereas we do. We're actually going to have an overlay. So these are some of the items that came up in objection from the one person who made, and we have addressed every single one of them, including reducing the size of our project. There was a lot of capital costs to get the engineers to evidence what we have put forward and give it to the hands of the professionals, people who speak more eloquently and intelligently than I do. And they've all seemed to say that, wow, you've really gone beyond the call of duty here. So, and we've been available, and we've been here for the time, and we addressed everything that has come forward.
Okay. Do you mind if I go? All right. I'm going to take your thunder a little bit here. So one of the things we've had in a lot of properties is concern about drainage because of storms. We've got a property just a little further to the east, a lot of feedback on drainage and so forth. So can you walk through the drainage plan and what capacity is that engineered to
Thank you.
to address?
I'd love to answer that. I'm going to defer to my civil engineer, if you guys wouldn't mind, to take me off the podium. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pat Montecchi, the engineer of record. The stormwater system is designed to meet swift flood requirements of a 25-year, 24-hour storm. It attenuates between the pre and post development amount of impervious that was on the site. That's about it. Ties into the existing city drainage easement in the back, which is piped. We're piping it instead of having a ditch there, which there was significant erosion in the back of our property from that ditch, and so it should actually make everything a lot better.
So assuming we had a 100-year storm, the system takes 25 years worth of water, it's now overflowing, it's hitting the city's storm sewer.
Your city's storm sewer is only designed for a 10-year storm.
Okay, so we don't have a topography map. What would happen in that scenario? Where would the water potentially go?
Wherever it goes now, I mean, your city's, it's a standard of design and engineering for stormwater systems for municipalities is a 10-year design storm. The Southwest Water Management District requires you to design to a 25-year storm. So and the release rate from our site is at the pre-development rate, meaning that what we're releasing from the site is though nothing was there to begin with, so as though the site was undeveloped. So we're releasing a significantly less amount of water than the previous development did. In the case of a 100-year storm, the whole city is going to be underwater because a 100-year storm is 12 inches of rain.
So what I'm trying to get at is, if that were to happen, are the surrounding properties impacted any differently?
No.
Now, or
Actually, it'll be
the same
better.
as it was
It'll be
currently?
either the same or better because
Better.
we're holding more water. Currently,
Okay.
there is no storm. There was a pond there, but it became eroded from the ditch, so they're not holding any water there now. What we're doing is a significant improvement to what's already there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
They would just flow downtown.
Actually, I've got a couple of those kind of questions as well. Yeah, so there is, it's a ditch back there, and that is connected to more ditches going along?
Well, what goes on is behind our property, for some reason, it's remained a ditch, but on either side, it's piped. So what we're going to do is match that pipe size and continue the pipe along so that it'll make the conveyance go faster away from the properties. It'll drain more quickly away.
I got you. And then what about, so will the property kind of sort of be leveled or kind of pitched towards the center, so all the water that hits the property line then goes
Yes.
back to that centralized
Yes,
system?
by law, you cannot drain away from your property. You have to hold your runoff on your own property.
Okay.
And that's what we'll do. All the runoff will be directed to inlets, which will then lead to the underground system.
All right. So looking at what's out there now, would it be safe to say that the water traverses across your property and then onto the property to the south of that? Because
No. Currently, it doesn't, actually, a portion of the neighboring property to the south flows onto ours, and what we're going to do is divert that water back to that easement so that it can drain.
Okay, and then what about the property to the north of that? It looks like there's a elevation difference between that one and the subject property.
It's been a while since I've looked at the topography. It's a wall. There's going to be a wall there, so that'll
Okay.
preclude any runoff from leaving our site onto theirs.
Okay, and then, so for that spot that's a ditch, that'll be filled in?
With a pipe. Assuming engineering allows it, but I'm sure they will since the rest of it's
Right.
piped.
And connecting to other pipes that are there, so pipes on both the north
There's a
and the south side?
Correct.
Okay. That's my question, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
I have a question. I don't know who I'd ask this to. It has to do with parking and who. So I saw one of the questions that Mr. Michael has said about parking. How many spaces per unit do you have? And I'm sorry, my computer for some reason won't open, so I can't look at that.
Can you please state your name also?
Yeah, Jonathan Poole. I'm with SDG Architecture. Right now, we're providing 2 spaces per unit. We have, I believe it's 45 spaces total we have provided. We provided 3 extra spaces, so we have 42 for all the units to cover the unit parking. And we provided 3 extras at the front because we have a leasing office. So we have a ADA spot and 2 extra spaces there.
Okay, and then my second question, I don't know who this is going to answer, about the leasing. Is somebody going to be on property like 9 to 5, but be at home? So if there's any complaints and being short-term rentals, if
I'll
somebody...
let Walter
Okay.
speak to that.
Hi, Walter. So if somebody has parties there, you have, people staying there and they're loud or whatever, who would the neighbors or someone go and speak to?
There's very specific requirements to meet the short-term rental. You have to have within a certain miles. I'd have to pull it up right now, but we'll more than conform to that. I think you need to be within, is it 15 minutes
Yeah, I wanna
drive?
say 30
You need
minutes,
to
but
have
somewhere.
somebody at all, 24/7, somebody within 15-minute drive available. There will not be a living on-staff receptionist. It's not going to be a 24-hour person there. So the plan is to have the property management company to be available 24/7 within the time frame that short-term rental requires.
Do you have a property management company yet?
I haven't decided on a property management company. I've used Monarch. They're a pretty good management firm, but I don't know that they do that kind of on demand. So I'll make a determination when somebody can meet the requirements of short-term rental. I own a licensed real estate brokerage, so I'm qualified to pick the right people, and I'll make sure that we do.
Okay, it was
Yep.
just a question, because
Yeah, no, it's an
I'm just
understandable
trying to answer
question.
some of his questions.
Just very quickly, too, for the board. So the code requirement is 1 space per bedroom, but as mentioned, they have 3 additional parking spaces to what the code requires. What's interesting about that is a more aggressive parking requirement than it would be for, say, multifamily. So it is one of our higher, more aggressive parking standards. The other thing I wanted to mention, too, was obviously the city noise ordinance is in play at all times. So certainly the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office could be involved if there's something strange going on out there at any given time. So now what we've done in the past is sometimes the board has suggested as a condition of approval that contact be provided, which they'll ultimately have to do anyway through the transient regulations. But if it's of comfort, we can certainly add that condition, to the commission.
We would overlay that. I mean, so I work with Christy Jones. She's an HOA attorney. So when we create the rules and regulations for the community, there'll be overlays of quiet time, how many guests can be at the house at a particular time, how many cars can visit the property. So they'll definitely be beyond what the city requires. There's going to be another layer over that. So whatever you would have as a city requirements, it'll be more stringent.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Should I stay here in
Yep,
case I?
Walter, I got a
defer to
question.
somebody else?
I know garbage was an issue. I deal with it at my condo building all the time. It's nice how you've tucked those dumpsters actually to the back of that leasing office. I presume that's commercial service, so they'll be picked up twice a week?
Yeah, that's city service, yes.
Yep, twice a week?
I'm not sure of Bill's schedule.
Yeah, actually, I'll pipe in there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
You can be 7 days a week if you want, so that's.
Yeah, I think it's
Pay-as-you-go.
as
so
needed.
Anywhere from 1 to 7,
Okay.
so.
Because I know there was some concerns expressed by Mr. Michaels about odors and other stuff.
Sure.
If it's
Yeah,
picked up
we-
pretty frequently, that shouldn't be an issue, and it's very well ventilated. And then, concerns just about pests. I presume there'll be a pest service, so there'll be rat traps and, other stuff should there be anything. But I hopefully that wouldn't be as much of an issue. It's not like it's a restaurant, or something with as much.
We have no on-site food preparation. There's no restaurant there. With the zoning we have, that concern could be a lot worse with
Yeah.
another, somebody was asked, I can't remember, what kind of, what else might go there?
Right.
And when it comes to rodents, pests, and food preparation, trash accumulation, this community is going to be way less of an impact than other allowable FXM zoning requirements that we had to meet, so. especially a school. I mean, a school, I can't imagine what school lunches were like or what kind of trash was created from a 250-student school.
Right.
I don't know what the parking was like. I'm sure it was difficult, and I'm sure it was painful to be next door to that for a while with the parking the way it was. But we won't have that impact.
Yeah. Will your HOA rules require at least that garbage be in Tide bags? Just to
Sure.
help?
Yeah. I mean, we've been accommodating. Sometimes you just, no matter what you do, it's still not
Right.
something somebody wants. But we've been accommodating. We'd be happy to do whatever requirements might need to go inside our HOA documents when it comes time for the approval of the development order.
Thank you.
Microphone?
Interested in traffic. I'm always sort of interested in traffic analysis.
Sure.
So I'm trying to figure this out myself. If you go one way, it's easy, but if you make the left turn, I sort of gave up left turns a few years ago. So, well, I did.
Well, thank you.
You are welcome.
I don't think I'm not sure you're supposed to make a left turn out of there. It's can you make a left turn on 2 double yellow lines? Without a.
Study showed that you could.
Okay.
Right, so,
Two wrongs don't make it right.
right, I understand. I have given you my comic relief tonight, but still, I mean, it's difficult.
Sure.
But
Is-
I understand also that you're very close to San Christopher, so trying to, because you did talk about putting in a certain turn in the traffic analysis that I read. So, I don't know.
So as I understand it, the turn ratios are perfectly fine. I mean, we can get emergency services back there and everything, so I don't think cars will have any trouble. The question would be visibility, and we had the traffic study show that we have 100% visibility from our site as well as our neighbor's site. So the ability for, we're in Pinellas County, a lot of different people, a lot of different, we have tourists who are in from out of town, they don't understand the roads. We have a large
don't even understand the
senior
roads that live
community.
here.
So whether or not it's easy or not is one thing. It definitely exceeds requirements. We don't have tight roads there. We don't have difficult aprons to turn out onto, and we have 100% visibility. And we've done what we can. We have a grand tree we had to save. It does create pull forward a little bit, but it's not pull forward beyond where you're supposed to pull forward. It's just that, you're not going to see it from the front of our front door of our neighbor. You're going to have to pull up to the road.
So the bottom line is, no one has any problem with the left-hand turn.
Right.
And I would just quickly add, I think that if I remember right, the traffic study says 14 peak trips, which is pretty nominal. Yeah, so I actually tried to get that, anticipating you might ask that question. And
How much more they may have had.
believe it or not, in talking to Clay, we don't have an ITE manual in this building, which surprised me. But a school is going to generate a lot more trips than 14 during peak. So, but I don't have an answer for you, Deborah, but we
The school has 250 students,
Wow.
and most of them, there's faculty, there's parents, there's, so I mean, we have 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
The school was a nightmare. I don't live far from there, and I had to go by there all the time. The school was a nightmare. People were
Undeniable.
constantly parked on the road, around the corner on San Christopher, a block down.
Yeah, if you want to talk
And it
about
was very, very
dangerous-
dangerous. Quite frankly, I think this is going to be a blessing for the people in that area that have to go by there all the time, having much less traffic, because the school was a nightmare. Although, now that the school's gone, it's great, you don't have to worry about it. But when the school was there, it was a nightmare. It really was.
No, I agree with your comments, and I would stay away from that intersection at certain times of the day based on that school.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I'm ready to go.
Go.
Okay,
go.
all right. So we talked a little bit about solid waste. What about recycling? Are you going to have a recycling dumpster out there as well?
I believe it addresses both, yes.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to jump around a little bit. Parkland impact fee, did we have what the actual Parkland impact fee was going to be?
I don't think anything. I gave private property.
No, you should.
It didn't say it.
It didn't say.
It didn't say
So.
it.
My physical impact report, which should be, everybody should have a copy of it, has a calculation in it. It actually has a calculation of all the financial impacts and the benefits that the city would get from our project.
Well, while they're looking it up, I'll ask you another question then.
Sure.
I did see reference to the Blue Jays, that you're going to be under contract with them for a certain number of units, and I was curious to know the number of units.
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked that. So this has been a year-long project. So at the outset of this project, we were given an email, not a letter of intent of any sort, that there's a need for 11 rooms.
Okay.
I have not had a direct conversation with the Jays, other than an email was forwarded to me, and we put thoughtful design that should they find this project desirable to them with approval, that we would, of course, give them the opportunity to house there. It would be foolish not to. It would be less impact for everybody in the neighborhood. It would be positive for the area. So if you look at the design of the layout, that housing could easily go into one of these units. So, and I don't know what their need is anymore, because time has gone by, and I know there's other projects out there accommodating them. So we'll see. I don't, with the group that is Azul, all the members of Azul Ave, we've called it Azul Ave. Azul is blue, a V is a bird, little undertone. So Azul Ave has an undertone of the Blue Jays.
Total accident, right?
So I'm a marketing guy. I'm not really.
I noticed the logo, too.
Yeah, and the logo. So we're hinting to them, letting them know we're here. And we put design elements in there for them. But I've told the members of Azul Ave LLC that we are not this project is not contingent. It should move forward. I love what everybody's done. I attended art school, so that's my background. I'm a real estate broker here using my marketing skills. I have a great team helping me to do the development, but I find that, if it's right for them, they will come to us. If it's not right for them, the project should not be contingent upon, because I think it's a beautiful project regardless.
So we will definitely confirm prior to first read with the commission, but it looks like it's about $4,294 per unit at 21 units. So I can't do the math.
4,200.
It's painful is what it is.
Are there other questions?
Yes, I'm just writing down some notes. 21, okay. I can do the math later
I
on
think
that.
it's 88 too,
Okay.
maybe.
So that takes care of that one.
Yeah, so roughly 90,000 according to Francis.
So just a couple more. The sustainability matrix. So in reading everything, going to your website, I'm a little confused with, are these going to have solar, or are they going to be solar ready?
So we've designed them with solar.
Okay,
That's the intent.
okay, yeah, the architecture.
I have no problem. I think on a project like this, it's beneficial both to the city as well as the development group to utilize solar. I know because I've, in development of other projects, and I see people having $0 or $60 electric bills, it's financially makes sense for both parties to do full solar. So that's what I'll be a proponent of.
Okay, great. Yeah, because I was looking at that too, and based on some of the information said solar ready, some said solar. The architectural renderings didn't show solar, but it looks like it's a key component of your sustainability matrix, because without solar,
Sure, we
you're
don't
gonna fall
hit the
short.
points really, and we could make up for it in other spots, but it wouldn't be as impactful to us to make up for, to get the points right in the matrix. It doesn't really make sense not to do solar for us, and I know that the city would love that, so it's our intention to have full solar on there, yeah.
Great, thank you. That answers that question. A couple small things. One I noticed, and I know we're early on, but it mentioned the irrigation meter. So for irrigation of the property, and the city usually doesn't do irrigation meters, so I wanted to give you a heads up on that.
Okay.
And secondly, looking at the pool and how it was laid out, it looks like you're going to have to make some adjustments to your pool as well. It doesn't look like it's wide enough, so, and with enough deck space around it, so.
Is there any comments on pool size? We will definitely look at pool size and make sure, I mean, if there need to be adjustments to the pool, or it needs to be just a gathering spot in the pool, you know, I believe when you call yourself Azul Ave, and you may end up with northerners coming here to stay in them, and if that's the case, a pool is a very nice thing to have, but it's not a must-have, and I don't think it's a requirement for zoning purposes or FXM or any of that. So, but we would like to have it if it'll fit. If it doesn't, we will do something beautiful, maybe some type of pavilion or something.
Okay, just once again, a heads up with that.
Yeah, no, I
because
appreciate
You're about
that.
2.5 feet short, just so you know.
Yeah, yeah, okay. That's been the story of my life.
And then lastly, I just had some questions and just more general questions about the HOA. And, you know, so you're going to be the property owner, correct? Azul Avenue is property owner. So
Right.
it was interesting that you were going to have an HOA. Is there a thought about in the future selling these as fee simple, or will this always be
Yeah.
singularly held?
We will not condo it. So if we do anything, it'll be fee simple. Without a development order in hand, we can't go anywhere. But with a development order in hand and commissioner's approval, we would want to move to platting, not because we want to sell them individually, but we have partners. And if somebody, it's just a economic scenario of can you sell one fee simple unit or not. So, but it's not our intention to make that decision until we get a development order, because it's a long process, and we may not want to do it. We may just say it makes more sense to just build the one big community, have it managed by one entity, and I still am going to do HOA documents, homeowners association documents, just to get the rules and regulations for the community down, and so Christy Jones will help us with that.
Yeah, I would just add, if I can, from a staff perspective. So I believe the underlying land use is retail and services. So primary uses are not residential in this case. So residential is a secondary use. So there would still, even if they went residential, there would still have to be a commercial component to the project. Transient uses are considered non-residential. That's why this is the primary,
Right,
that's why
okay.
it fits as a primary use under that land use category. So there may be some implications to conversion in the zoning and land use
Okay, thank you, George.
that would have to be further evaluated.
Thank you, Walter. That is all of my questions, so.
I thank you very much. Excellent
very
questions.
much.
Questions are here?
Yes, on your market studies, did you have a feel for what the typical guests will be and how long they might stay?
We have our pro forma on the financial side has somewhere around 50% occupancy is what we're projecting. I think it's unrealistic when people say that there's going to be 70, 80% occupancy. If that happens, it's great. And from a marketing standpoint, we'll be open to the public. We'll be putting this on the websites that, the national websites that are going to draw the traffic. So we're not shooting for one demographic. We're shooting for who wants to come and stay at our place. We're hoping that we can exceed 50%, but if we, if 50% works for us, I should say.
I was curious more about the seasonality aspect of it, and would it be somebody that would stay the winter? Would it be somebody that would, is there a maximum on the number of weeks or months that they could stay?
We would, obviously, we can't have anybody stay more than 90 days consecutively. But I think if we had the right community and somebody wanted to stay, and I'll have to lean to legal, but I'll move them to a different unit. On day 90, you have to go to Unit C, and move over there. You want to stay for...
They did not hear that, our staff.
Oh, well, I don't know how it works. I don't know how we satisfy the short-term rental. I don't know what satisfies it, but I can't see anybody who wants to stay in vacation rentals, fully furnished vacation rentals, wanting to stay more than 90 days, because it's very difficult to rent a 90-day rental, let me say that. They're way harder to find than somebody who wants a week or 2 weeks. So, yep.
All right, then one real quick question on that with the marketing and feasibility for all this. What pricing point are you thinking? I know it's still a little bit early, but you have to have some idea.
I mean, our range, depending on the season, it's between $150 and $220 a night, maybe, if we'll see. I mean, they scale them the way the algorithm works. They pick what the demand is in the area, and it adjusts accordingly. So I won't know until we get to that stage and the algorithms tell us what the price points are. But my pro forma shoots in that number.
Right, okay, great, thank you.
Yep.
That it? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you and your staff. Appreciate it. We are now open for public input. Yes.
My foot fell asleep.
Oh, well, I felt that. It's okay.
My name's Thomas Michaels, and I own the property immediately south of this property. I had submitted a letter for everyone, and I take it you got a copy of it since you commented about it. That's great news, because I submitted one to the ARC, and they told me they didn't get it or didn't have a chance to review it. So, wonderful. So you've had an opportunity to review that. I don't want to be repetitive if you read what I saw, but I'm sitting here and I'm quasi-baffled about the observation that this development blends into the neighborhood. We're talking the road, Pinehurst Road, just south of San Christopher. Immediately south is my office, 1 story. The next building is 1 story, a little office. The next building heading south towards Main Street now. The next building is a doctor's office, 1 story. And then you get into some 1-story homes or duplexes until you finally get to the corner of Pinehurst Road and 580. So that is the west side of the road, where I am, where this property is located. If you look across the street, on the corner, you have a quick stop store or something like that right on the corner. And then directly across the street, you have a 1-story veterinarian's office. Now we're heading south again. And then next to that is a burnt business building that sits back off the road. And then you head south from there and you run into, in essence, duplex, 1-story, after duplex, one story, after duplex, one story, et cetera, till you finally make your way to the corner of Pinehurst and 580, where you have now a flooring store. It used to be called Carpets by French, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the layout. So the whole neighborhood is one story, of course. The whole neighborhood has nothing at all compared to this big development that I sort of cynically said was being shoehorned in on this property. It's a massive development. 21 units now. It started off, I believe, 23, and then it modified to 21. And so it's beautiful when you look at the pictures. And the gentlemen have been very cordial. I give them that. You know, of course they're going to be. And am I limited to 3 minutes?
Yes, you are.
Okay, how much time do I have left?
You have none.
None?
None. You used up your 3 minutes. So, but we got your point, and we got your letter, and we thank you for coming by.
Okay, since he had a little bit more than 3 minutes, I didn't know I was limited. So obviously, we object to what's going on.
That's clear.
Can I make one further, am I allowed to make one further comment
No.
about the ARC meeting?
No, sir. You have a question. But make it a short one.
Yes, sir. Correct me if I'm wrong, you said your office, is it a house next door or an office space next door?
Where I'm located?
Yes, sir.
It's an office.
So this is an office you own?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and when were all these one-story buildings built in
They've
that
all been
area?
there forever. I've been there.
Like 1940?
I've been there for about
1932?
30-something years. I've owned it for about 22 years. So I'm describing to you the whole street as it always has been, never been modified.
Since the 30s or 40s?
Right. I've been there at least 30, 35 years working, but
Mr.
owning
Michaels?
22.
Thank you very much.
Okay?
Much appreciated. Any discussion here, or do we have a motion? Thank you. Are there any other public comments? So we are now closed for public comment.
Mr. Chair, I don't know if it'll be helpful to the board or not, but, you know, when we do our compatibility analysis, we're not just looking at what's on the ground and around the subject property is certainly a big piece to our compatibility analysis, but we're also looking at what is intended through our future land use aspect. And as I kind of mentioned earlier in the presentation, most of the property that surround this are zoned FXM. So you're going to see slightly more intense development as these properties redevelop over time. So, and, you know, we're not, from a staff perspective, we believe it's compatible as it exists, but we know it's going to be compatible when we're looking at anticipated future development. So I don't know if that's helpful or not, but I want to put that in the record.
Thank you.
George, go ahead. Go ahead, Deborah.
If it's, Mr. Michaels is now zoned FXM, so that means he can sell that property as FXM.
He can redevelop that property.
What it means that it would carry the FXM, which is more
Yes,
density.
the zoning runs with the land, yep.
I don't know if that, you know.
Okay.
George, you mentioned this is a catalyst for that area. I mean, a development like this could likely increase the property values of all those surrounding properties as it creates a greater desire to redevelop them in the future. Would that be correct?
Certainly a newer, attractive product, I believe, would probably do that anecdotally. I don't have a study to support that, but I would think that would be the case.
Okay.
But it's just that Mr. Michaels and the people that have been there a long time, they're sort of in the jaws of redevelopment to an FXM, and that's true.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I think if we think about it, our entire city is going in that direction. When we look at the Jay's Hotel out on the Causeway, we look at the ones on Wilson Street that were just built. We look at the Jay's Hotel, look at the ones on Wilson Street. They're all going in that direction to where we're going to see the larger developments, the type of style that is going in. And I think we're just seeing the future coming into our city.
Okay. I would like a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-004 as recommended by staff.
Sorry, you said ordinance? Is it?
Or, I'm trying to find, there we go. I lost my
Mine went off
connection.
too.
What's the,
No ordinance number, just case number. Which is,
where is it?
Vacation homes?
Here we go. Okay. I make a motion to approve application DR 2025-0004. Request for design review approval for the two-story, 21-unit residential vacation home property called Azul Avenue Vacation Homes, as recommended by staff.
Any thoughts, comments?
Any conditions?
Second, I second.
Is there a second?
I do.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you very much, everyone.
Technology challenge.
Oh, mine went out.
Mine, there's all about 2 minutes left.
I'm putting my,
Chair, do you want to adjourn the meeting?
No more left turn.
We have to adjourn.
oh, we got adjourned.
Thank you.